Welcome to Cued Speech Word of the Day, brought to you by SignCueQuest, the app that includes the Cued Speech Adventure game. Our word today is as. I cue as with 5 to the throat, ah, 2 to the side, z. Put them together for as. I picked flowers as I walked in the garden. I am eating dinner now as I am starving. Anne smiles as she thinks about Tom. Tom likes to dance as often as he can. I volunteer as a cage cleaner at the pound every Friday. Cued speech was invented in 1966 by Dr. Cornett. And now it's time for
more expressive practice.
let's practice cueing a nugget of wisdom expressively. Unfortunately, I don't know who was the original author of the following insightful sentence. Worrying is like sitting in a rocker expecting to go somewhere. First, let's cue worrying is like sitting in a rocker. So there's two things we ask ourselves before we cue it. The first is, are there any liaisons in the phrase worrying is like sitting in a rocker? Oh yes, I see 3 liaisons. First, between the words worrying and is, and also between sitting and in. The third liaison is between in and Okay, the second thing we ask ourselves before we cue it, are there any flicks in this phrase? I see no flicks in this phrase. So you give it a try, remembering the 3 liaisons. It's your turn to cue. Worrying is like sitting in a rocker. Here is how I cue it. Worrying is like sitting in the rocker. Next, let's cue the last phrase, expecting to go somewhere. So remember, there's two things we ask ourselves before we cue it. Are there any liaisons in expecting to go somewhere? I see no liaisons in expecting to go somewhere. And the second thing we ask ourselves, are there any flicks in expecting to go somewhere? I see no flicks in this phrase. So now it's your turn to cue expecting to go somewhere. Expecting to go somewhere. And now let's cue the whole sentence. Let's cue it together. Worrying is like sitting in a rocker, expecting to go somewhere. Thank you to my sources listed here on my Hall of Fame. The links for these sources are given below this video. Thank you for watching. See you next time for another Word of the Day. Have fun with your cute speech adventures.